What's up everyone, this is Marky2200 here and welcome back to my Need for Speed testing series, where today we're going all out because I took the top 25 best grip cars from the stage 3 grip video and I retested them with stage 4 parts along with 5 additional bonus cars. Not only that, because I didn't left a stone unturned. We're going all out. I'm talking about a Widebody Kit, either a spoiler or a bonnet option depending on how good the car looked with the spoiler option. We're going manual with clutch and we're nosing it on the back straight. So this is the fastest these cars will go in this game. Well, legitimately that is. Then normally I'd have the ranking in the top left and the lap time in the top right. And while that is still the same, I've also put the stage 3 lap time on and the difference in seconds. So that gives you a clear indication how much faster this combination of stage 4 performance and manual with clutch and the Widebody Kit and all additional stuff is. And as usual, all the cars have been tuned properly, and tunes of all the cars you will find in the Google spreadsheet file, which is located in both the description and the pinned comment. There is a section for stage 4 cars and you will find all the results in the grip section of the stage 4 tab. So without any further ado, let me show you the first of the bonus cars, and that at number 30 we have the Honda Civic CX. There were some suggestions that the Honda Civic CX would be an absolute monster in stage 4, and while that is the case speed wise, it is still a bastard in the corners. It still can't corner in medium speed corners, in low speed corners, and it has insane understeer in high speed corners. It's still a terrible car. Then the next bonus car we have the Corvette C2. And this is just here because this was the fastest classic muscle car for grip racing. And I just wanted to know how good it would have been for stage 4. And while it obviously still has some handling and speed issues, it fared way better than I thought. And it was actually quite pleasant to drive. Next at number 28 we have the Bugatti Veyron, which I'm sure isn't that surprising that it's so low on the list. Mainly because it can't have any performance or handling packages installed to begin with. The only difference between the stage 3 video and the stage 4 video is the manual with clutch and the Widebody Kit, and where it's got a half second improvement from is probably the manual with clutch. Then number 27 we have the 911 GT2, which is quite, I would say surprising, but quite disappointing that it's low on the list. It wasn't very great in stage 3, despite that it still reached the top 25, but this car just understeers really bad. Next, number 26, we have the Lancia Delta, which is another bonus car, and I just wanted to know how this car would fare in stage 4, mainly because it was very pleasant to drive in stage 3. And I'm delighted to say it still handles quite amazingly, the brakes are amazing, but the power is still just not there, which is unfortunate. At number 25 we have the Civic Si, and the main problem with the Civic Si is that it's got now so much power that it becomes understeering, but it still hasn't enough power to like, I don't know, it's just a dilemma. It has too much power for a frontal drive car to make it understeery, but not enough to like be competitive. And yeah, it is what it is. At number 24 we have the DB9, and the DB9 still feels heavy. And that was also its main problem with stage 3. It just felt heavy. Sure, it feels more powerful now, and I do feel like I can put some competitive lap times here and there, but it's still far from one of the best. Then number 23 we have the 06 Corvette, and I'm sure many of you remember that in the stage 3 video the Corvette was actually better than the Viper, and obviously it isn't the case anymore with stage 4, because while I don't think the handling improved that much for the 06 Corvette, which was its main strength, I definitely noticed an increase in power with the Viper. It is quite funny that these still are one position apart from each other, but I think the increase of power for the Viper definitely helped, and also it doesn't feel as understeery. Also with the increase in handling, I definitely noticed a decrease in oversteer. Then at number 21 we have the Lotus Elise, which has an understeer problem. And I don't know really what to do to kill the understeer, but it's just too much for this car to like be more competitive. Its increase in lap time from stage 3 is still quite sufficient, nearly 6 seconds, but it is what it is. At number 20 you have a car that falls down quite yeah, quite majorly, because the SL65 was, I think it was in the top 15 and it dropped nearly 5 places. Sure, it is still quite good, and you just wouldn't believe this car would be this good because it's just incredibly front heavy, but it is what it is. Then the next two are again quite a funny story, because you just can't make this stuff up. In stage 3, the Cayman and the NSX was just 1/100th of a second apart from each other, and it's just no different here. Because the Cayman did a 127.15 and the NSX, as you may have guessed, did a 127.14. Which, honestly, you can't make this stuff up. It is still the same case with stage 3. The Cayman has the power advantage, but the NSX has the handling advantage. My preference, because of that, goes to the NSX, but take what you want. Then at number 17, this is actually quite, I don't know, surprising, but also I'm actually quite proud of it. The Seat Leon Cupra. It has the exact same problem that the Honda Civic Si has, that now has got too much power that it somewhat becomes understeering, but it's not bad. It is genuinely not bad. It is genuinely one of the better cars, and I actually do like it. Then number 16 we have the Lamborghini Murcielago. And the Murcielago, I mean, while it is quite powerful, obviously, it does have heavy steering. And also, the brakes were surprisingly bad. Which is kind of, you know, a surprise, given that this is an all-wheel drive supercar. Up next, we have the RX-7. And the RX-7 felt genuinely very natural to me. Meaning that I needed very few laps to actually set a competitive lap time. I think it was like 3 laps, which is genuinely not many at all. It just has beautiful handling, power, brakes, everything. It's just a very overall naturally handling car. Up next we have the Porsche Carrera GT, which is the complete opposite, because I could not connect with this car at all. The handling, there is no other word for describing it. It's off, it's weird, or I don't know. And that's a genuine shame, because I do like this car in real life and it has an amazing sounding engine too, but the handling is off. At number 13 we have the Infiniti G35, which is the exact same as the RX-7. It felt very natural to me, power is natural, handling is natural, brakes are good. It's just that the Widebody Kit looks absolutely horrendous, which is also the same with the RX-7. But you know, it is what it is. At number 12 we have the car that I am most proud of. The 240SX, because where most cars improved its lap time by, let's say, 4, 5, maybe 6 seconds, the 240SX improved its lap time by over 12 seconds, which is just genuinely insane, and is mainly because of the insane handling this car has. Where most cars have to brake, this car can go flat out. Yes, it still has a power issue, but the handling more than enough compensates for it. Then number 11 we have the Skyline R34, and the Skyline R34 is just a genuinely awesome, natural feeling, all-wheel drive car. The only problem is that the brakes aren't great. That's literally the only problem, but other than that, this car is just genuinely amazing. Then at number 10, cracking into the top 10 actually, we have the 911 GT3. And just like the Infiniti, just like the RX-7, this felt like a very natural, balanced car. The only problem with this car is that it has a speed limit of under 403 km an hour, but on most grip races, you're not gonna notice that. At number 9, another solid all-wheel drive car, we have the Subaru Impreza. And there is literally no really major thing wrong with this car. It just drives very natural, very pleasantly, and I probably love this car the most out of all of the all-wheel drive sports car. There is one car that is better, but this felt most natural to me. Then number 8 we have the RX-8, which is quite funny actually. The RX-8, I mean, there is not much to say about this, because this is the best rear-wheel drive sports car. It handles beautifully, the power is good, the brakes are good, and it's just a very nice, solid, natural, great handling car. Then number 7 we have the Evo 10, and in this case for stage 4 it is slightly better than the RX-8. In stage 3 it wasn't the case, but in stage 4 it just is that little bit better. Yes, it is an amazing all-wheel drive sports car, but the suspension is absolutely hot garbage. I needed the most extreme tune to actually make this car not bottom out, which is a shame, but other than that, it's an amazing car. Then number 6, another amazing car, we have the 911 Turbo. I mean, amazing power, amazing grip, amazing downforce. It's just an overall amazing car. And honestly, it's basically the reason why Rudy Chen should have been Grip King. because this car is just phenomenal to drive. It's absolutely pleasant, it's lovely. Cracking into the top 5 we have the Ford GT, and while this car is still amazing to drive, it improved its lap time but not that much. And mainly that's because, well, in stage 3 I said this was an amazing car to drive, but it sometimes feels it wants to kill you. And that's still the same reason here. You still have to be on your tiptoes to actually handle this car, because it is just a ferocious animal. And where the Ford GT didn't improve its lap time by that much, one other car did. The 911 GT3 RS. Where the Ford GT only improved its lap time by 3 seconds, the 911 GT3 RS improved its lap time by 9.5 seconds. This is the best improvement besides the 240SX, and I am just genuinely proud on this car. I mean, who would have thought that the 911 GT3 RS actually beat the Ford GT? And the GT3 RS actually beat the 911 Turbo, which wasn't the case in stage 3. It's just an overall solid car. And where we come from like some unknown territory, we're now moving into known territory. The top 3 is, I'm pretty sure many of you would have already guessed what the top 3 was. And number 3 we have the Zonda. And the Zonda, I mean, it's just overall an amazing car, and there is not much to say about this. It has great power, great handling, amazing brakes, downforce is genuinely good, and it improved the lap time by just about over 3.5 seconds, which is to be expected because the top 3 just, I mean, they're already such amazing cars, and the CCX is no different. Kudos to the CCX though, because its stage 4 lap time is faster than the stage 3 McLaren F1 lap time. That actually says enough about the McLaren F1. To be honest, the CCX just became a more ferocious animal. And where the CCX was just an amazing car to drive and just a ferocious animal, the F1 is just an absolute monster. Because the F1 just also improved its lap time by, it's just a little over 3 seconds, but I mean, the stage 3 McLaren F1 was already just genuinely insane, and it just became more insane. I'd like to think that the term F1 actually applies to this, because it just feels like it's as good as a Formula 1 car, corner wise, power wise. But you know what I also find quite particularly is that I tuned this car to just only use the first 4 gears, because it has so much power that it just runs through those 4 gears like it's nothing. 5th gear and 6th gear are just not needed, which is actually quite astonishing. And that's just on the power side. Handling side, it's more about your commitment than the car itself. Because do you commit yourself to go through some corners flat out? Because most corners it will go flat out. Yes, some you have to brake here and there just a little bit, but it's just more about your commitment. And that's just why the F1 is just genuinely insane. We all know that the CCX and the F1 are broken, but now we know how broken they actually are. So those were the top 30, well, not necessarily top 30, but the top 25 and 5 bonus cars for Stage 4 grip racing in Pro Street. I genuinely hope you enjoyed. I did, certainly. And the next video will be somewhat similar, because there I will take the top 25 Stage 3 drag cars and I will retest them for Stage 4. So that's something to definitely look forward to. For now, if you've enjoyed this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you wish to stay updated on all my future streams, videos and whatnot, consider subscribing. For now, this has been Marky 2200. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, take care.